Welcome to our 5 on 5. I'm joined today by Democratic candidate for U.S. Congress, Doyle Canning, running for Oregon's 4th District. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Of course, it's great to be here.
Now, you're a political strategist and an attorney from Eugene who previously challenged Congressman Peter DeFazio for this seat. Why are you the right Democrat to succeed him?
Well, what we're seeing in politics today is the overwhelming undue influence of big corporations, billionaires, moneyed interests trying to buy influence in Washington. And I simply can't be bought. Unlike my opponent in this race, Val Hoyle, I don't have a billionaire super PAC coming into Oregon, misleading Oregon voters about what's at stake in this election.
Now, what would be your first priority if you were elected to Congress?
My first priority is to deliver for the people of Oregon's 1st congressional district. We have been facing unprecedented and dangerous wildfires, heat domes, droughts, and other direct impacts of the climate crisis. But also, we have a tremendous opportunity here in this district to bring green energy jobs and jobs in regenerative forestry that can not only help us cool our climate, make our communities safer, more resilient, but also create good paying union jobs in rural Oregon. And that will be my priority in Washington.
Now, you mentioned energy. The Jordan Cove Energy Project was scrapped by developers last year, but there's still a lot of concern on the coast about what will happen to the Coos County site. What would you personally like to see now?
Well, I'm proud I was in the fight against the Jordan Cove project for many years. You know, when I think about Jordan Cove, I think about my supporters, Larry and Sylvia in North Bend, Oregon. When I went to visit them back in 2019, they showed me the papers that Jordan Cove's attorneys had sent to them by certified mail saying, if you don't sell your property, we're going to take it from you. And I was proud to stand with Larry and Sylvia in opposition to a $15 billion fossil fuel pipeline being built across Southern Oregon, taking public land, private land, tribal land, and worsening our climate crisis at a time when we must be moving towards renewable energy. Unlike my opponent, Val Hoyle, I didn't take $10,000 from Jordan Cove and their lobbyists in previous elections or in this election. And I will be fighting for the future of the coast, which is in the blue economy, regenerative green energy. You know, we have a tremendous opportunity off the coast of Southwest Oregon, best wind energy real estate in the country. And our opportunity is to build renewable energy, wind energy, that will bring good union jobs to the coast and help us transition off of fossil fuels. And that will be my priority when I serve you in Congress.
All right, Doyle, thank you so much for your insight. We'll be right back after this break with some more questions. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. We're joined today by Democratic candidate for U.S. Congress, Doyle Canning. Now, you told the Oregonian that you worked on some of the most important climate battles of our time. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure, I'd be happy to. I've spent 20 years working to protect our planet and stop climate change at the international level, at the United Nations, at the national level in the U.S. Congress, and here in Oregon, trying to stop Jordan Cove and support a transition off of fossil fuels towards renewable energy. One of the things I'm most proud of is my most recent work with Greenpeace as an advisor and a strategist, helping to make sure that in Congress, the fossil fuel industry wasn't going to be able to get away with more subsidies, more public money from the US Congress for the fossil fuel industry. That was in the Build Back Better deal until climate advocates and a broad-based coalition came together and got that stuff out of the bill. We were able to get clean energy investments into the bill. Now, we did really well in this Congress with the Build Back Better agenda for climate until we ran into a roadblock. And that is a Democratic senator who is bought and paid for by the fossil fuel industry. That's why I am proud as a Democrat not to take a dime from fossil fuel interests, because the lobbying power and frankly, the corruption in Washington is what's holding us back from the clean energy investments we need to create good jobs and stabilize our global climate.
Now, in your eyes, how did the dynamics of Oregon's 4th congressional district change after redistricting?
Great question. You know, a lot of Oregonians may not have followed the details of the redistricting process. In the redistricting of 2021, after the census, Oregon got another congressional district. We'll now have 6 representatives in Washington. So in order to make room for that, all the district boundaries changed. In the 4th congressional district, we now welcome Lincoln County on the northern part of our district, and our district stretches all the way down to Brookings and comes inland to Roseburg, Eugene, and Corvallis. And so the result of that is a district that leans more favorably for Democrats by 9 points, which means that this Democratic primary, is likely, very likely, to determine the results of who will go to Washington. Now, I'm ready to take on Alex Skarlatos in the general election, and he has been an opponent of climate action, and I believe denies the science of climate change. So I'm looking forward to those debates and that discussion and serving the people of the 4th District in Washington next year.
All right, Doyle. Well, thank you so much for your time again today.
You are so welcome. It's great to be with you.
We'll be right back after this break.